Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to Man's Life. My name is Ali. Hope you're keeping well. Thanks so much for watching. The Street Fusion Lumibricks Fun Hole theme is my favorite out of all their offerings. I have now bought pretty much every single set of their Street Fusion theme, and I have mostly now converted it to make it compatible to the LEGO City. So I thought in this video it would be quite fun to look at the three main sets: the music club, the skate park, and the record store, put them all together and see what they look like and how I've made them LEGO City compatible. Let's check it out. The record store was probably the most easiest to place onto a standard LEGO base plate size, especially onto a Mills plate like I have done, as it is a 32 by 32 real estate standard size. The only caveat though is that if you do place this onto a Mills plate, if you want to keep the swinging door mechanism of the set, just remember when you do build your Mills plate to place these on a smooth surface. So instead of having a brick and then putting the plates on there, just put two plates and a tile and keep it smooth for all the areas that you want to have the sliding door to come in. And that way you can still have the playability of this set, which I think is really important to retain. The skate park did not conform to standard 32 by 32 space. It was actually a 26 stud wide building. Placing it on the Mills was not a problem. There's no swinging doors here, so you just build a Mills plate as normal and place the set on top of it. But you do then have 6 studs to play around with depending on how you place it onto the Mills plate. I put everything, the whole set, to the right hand side, so it left me with 6 studs to play with on the right hand side, and I had this whole old Lego graffiti and skate park set that I did myself, and I thought this is just a perfect opportunity to slide that in there, keep the theme of the skate shop and skate park and the sign of the skate park with this set. The other thing that I did with this in terms of modification, and you'll probably see a little bit of a hint here, New Asgard, I added in another floor because this set just seemed to beg to have another floor onto it, and it really does elevate and make it a much more complete set in my view. And inside that extra floor is Thor's apartment, Bro Thor's apartment from Lego, and I did manage to put in some extra lights in there, so the whole thing is lit up just like the original. Now, the Factory House of Music set was bigger than your standard 32 by 32 real estate. It was 32 in depth, but the width was actually 40 studs wide. So for a normal base plate and a half, you're left with 8 studs to add some creativity to this set. Very similar to the Spin Records store, there is a sliding out feature with this set, namely at the front, and the same principle then to apply that I did if you have it on a Mills plate, 2 plates high, and then a tile to be able to keep that swinging door mechanism in place, which I think is very important to keep in. But then what did I do for the additional 8 studs that I had left? On the side, I repurposed one of their smaller builds, the Underground Battle dance set, and I think that fits in thematically really well with this set, and then adds a bit more character to it, and at the same time hides a little bit of the ugliness of the set. If you want to know how I did all of that, I've got 4 more detailed videos. Check them out in the relevant playlist. I'll put some links as well, just to explain how I did that in more detail. But that's just a quick overview. This is probably the first layout, which is as good as any, to have the Factory House of Music centered between the record store and the skate shop. It does give the record store a bit of prominence between the two buildings. And already, you know, with the lights on, it does, and you know, with some road plates on there, it does feel like it's a bustling, hip, really noisy part of town, with the record shop, the club, and the skate park. Looks like a really cool, fun place to hang out in. And it still enables you to see the details of the underground battle that's happening next to the club here, and swinging around you can still see, which I really like, that little light box there with that graffiti there, from the record store. I really do like that. And then moving on to the right, you know, you still got some breathing space in between the two buildings, and the little skate park that you have here. And you know, I think the great thing about these three sets is that there's a lot of breathing space in between the buildings, and it does help a lot with some negative space. But let's swap it around. Let's put the skate shop and the record store on opposite ends, and let's see what happens. So on first glance, I mean, it really is up to preference, but what happens is that you've got a lot more space now between, on this side, on the left hand side, between the skate park and the music club, and it really does then open up the battle dance scene that we've got here, and having some skaters come down here. I think it gives a much more wider gap. Now, the only problem with that, it really depends on what you've got in your city behind there. It usually might have the back of a building, so if it's an ugly building that you've got the behind of, it might cause a problem. But then moving across to the other side, it does then narrow out the gap on there, which I think is not a bad thing, because with the record store, what you're ending up with, you're hiding that battery pack if you do have that installed like I do. So it does give a little bit more hidden aesthetic of that little bit of ugly side of the building. But panning it back out, yeah, I mean, it's really up to personal preference, really, which it goes well with your city. But having the club in the center is a nice view for both of these buildings on either side. But let's swap it up even more, and let's have the music club, you know, on the left or the right, and keep one of these buildings in the center. Okay, so we've got the record store front and center, club to the right, and skate shop to the left on the other side. I do like having the record store in the middle, and probably this is how I'm going to have it in my city, to be fair, because at the moment these two buildings are together in the city, and I was tempted, and the whole purpose of this video is to help me figure out, where do I put the club? Which side? So I like it, I really do, and I think it works pretty well, having it to the left of the Spin Records shop. What do you guys think? You still keep the battery box hidden from there. I think, you know, on this side you can either put another building or you can put another road piece, so it's a junction. I think that will work, and that will really open up the underground battle scene. And yeah, I mean, for me also, the center of here is a lot of breathing space there as well. I mean, I think it helps, that I modified the skate shop so with that extra floor. It really does make a difference to that set. Maybe it's a bit unfair that I didn't keep it to the original height to give a good comparison. And if you want me to do that, I can do that. Just need to separate some wires in order to do that. But I like that. But what about if we put the club to the right of the skate shop. Let's see what happens. So I think I'm loving this even more. It's probably my favorite so far, only because of the amount of breathing space that we get between these two buildings, between the skate shop and the club. And you know, with the original height of the skate park, it probably gives a nice ascending height order, and I can see that working quite well. It just opens up quite a bit. That's a really cool shot to see that little neighborhood. Yeah, what do you guys think? So it's a tough choice. I think I'll keep it like this in the city, or it's still, the jury's going to be out because I still need to modularize, shall we say, the graffiti bus stop set. So that might get integrated somehow even better than these three just by itself. So this was really good fun, and you know, it's difficult because I was thinking of putting in some of the Lego official modulars with these sets, but because thematically they don't really go that well, it was a bit tough to pick and decide which one should go in there. That isn't some of my custom builds. But let me know if you're interested in, maybe I can put in some Lego official modulars into this mix of these three buildings. It would be good fun to get them all out and do that. So I hope you enjoy that. Let me know how you have placed these three into your city. I'm really open to suggestions, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care of yourself. Peace and love.